Hey there folks, how are you? What are we doing today? Today I'm going to show you a very popular miner hog attack at Town Hall 11 and how you can crush bases with it. We're going to show you a couple of different replays, we're going to break them down, we're going to give you all of the pro tips, and that's getting started right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Nemo. Welcome to another video. Today at Town Hall 11, we're looking at a very popular miner hog attack that actually a lot of Town Hall 13s and 12s like to run. Today we're going to break it down for Town Hall 11 and show you how to do it. Before we get started, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to come on down to our Discord, and definitely follow me on Twitter. All of that is in the description of this video. You definitely don't want to miss out. We have a lot of exciting stuff going on there. You definitely want to be there. Said definitely 3 times. Anyway, let me make myself a little smaller and let's get started right now with the first attack. So first up, we have JC Storm over here coming in with 14 miners, 14 hogs, a baby dragon, a couple of coconut loons. We have 5 healers with us, and we have a siege barracks full of hogs as well. So let's see what JC does over here and how he decides to crush this base. As far as the base goes, of course, most of it is a Town Hall 11, right? He's got a couple of defenses and mostly walls. So we got a queen walk coming in from one side. The queen walk is there, of course, to make sure that she takes out the enemy queen. We have a couple of coconut loons to make sure that, of course, the healers stay alive. The baby dragons on this side to try to push the queen into the base versus out. We're gonna rage, and then we're gonna use wall breakers. One test one, and then a whole bunch of other ones to make sure that we open up that side of the base. He wants to make sure that he takes out the enemy queen in the clan castle, and of course he also wanted to take out this inferno. Now it didn't work out in this case. The queen actually jumped out because the wall breakers were a bit late and there was a bunch of stuff on the outside. But the key here is to make sure we take out the enemy queen and the enemy clan castle. If we can do those things, the miners and the hogs will take care of the rest of the base. So that's what we're gonna do. He's gonna continually try to push and break through that wall. We're gonna use the queen to make sure that the idea here is he wants to make sure that his healers don't get roasted, right? He wants his queen to quickly push into the base, take out this inferno, and take out, of course, the eagle artillery. The eagle artillery is down. We have a hogs with the miners coming in from the other side with the grand warden behind. The queen ends up staying alive with the healers behind as well, which is really cool. We have the pack and a bunch of wizards coming in from the west to the east as well, and everything else is moving. We're gonna pop the grand warden ability to keep everything alive through the giant bombs, through a whole bunch of other stuff to make sure that it all stays alive. And we're going to use the heal spells right around the wizard towers. The enemy queen ends up, the art queen ends up dying, but in this case it doesn't matter. We have a lot of stuff going into the base, as you notice, with the grand warden behind. We have a whole bunch of miners, we have a whole bunch of hogs, we have the P.E.K.K.A. and actually still our king with a whole bunch of wizards behind still coming in. We're doing pretty well. The miners and the hogs are gonna stay alive. There's not that much splash defenses left besides the bomb tower, which ended up taking some of the miners and the hogs out. There's still too much left behind. We still have a whole bunch of tanking going on with the P.E.K.K.A. and the king, and then a whole bunch of wizards behind. The miners are still moving. We still got one hog left. There's really not that many defenses. This base is gonna be ripped apart. Even though the queen didn't go in, even though he didn't take out the objectives that he wanted to right away, he took out the most important two, enemy queen and the clan castle. Those two things are done. Everything else, like I said, is basically icing on the cake. He doesn't really need to take it out, but everything that he did take out really helped him push into the base a little bit further, and that's how he came up with a 3-star. You notice this is a really OP attack, not only at Town Hall 13 and 12, but it also works really well at Town Hall 11, as you just saw JC do. Now this attack, JC is going to show us how to rip this base apart. This is actually a pretty good base. It's an anti-3-star with a Town Hall on one side, and then we have the eagle artillery and the rest of the defenses spread around to try to make sure that they don't, they're not accessible by the kill squads. And of course we have some dead space right over here in this section. So let's see how we do. Of course it's not going to matter because we're going to bring in miners, hogs, we're going to bring in a siege barracks and a queen walk or a queen charge into the base, right? The idea here is you want to charge the queen in and try to take take out the enemy queen and the clan castle. Those are the two most important things to do. We're going to send in the coconut loon and the baby dragon to make sure that the baby dragon stays alive. A coconut loon from the other side and the healers to make sure that goes. As you notice right here, he did have a test wall breaker sent in this way, but unfortunately his queen split on him. She went the other way. This is a really nice redirect. He saved the attack. Let's see what he does right here. He holds the rest of his wall breakers, sends in one, says uh-oh, they're going the other way. So notice right here what he's doing. I'm going to pause this for a second. There's a wall breaker right here. That's a test wall breaker to make sure there's no bombs here. They're going to take out all of his wall breakers, right? And then the 3 are right here behind. So once this one goes, 3 more come in to break this wall. He wants to make sure that he breaks this piece of the wall apart, but of course there's the multi-inferno right here. It's gonna roast the wall breakers. So what do? You throw in freezes. You freeze the multi-inferno as the wall breakers come in to try to get the queen into the base. Notice, 1 wall breaker for test, freeze the rest of the wall breakers in, we break the wall. Baby dragon from this side to make sure the queen goes in. That's really a nice job right here. It almost got this, but unfortunately didn't make it. Notice that the queen goes into the base. She does end up engaging the enemy queen. That's the most important thing. And she even could possibly take out the clan castle when she goes in this way, right? There's so much value. While that's happening, we're going to send in the king on one side with the siege barracks behind. The clan castle has been engaged. The multi-inferno has been engaged. That's really good work for us. We're doing very, very well right now. We want to make sure that we take out this electro dragon. Right, so he's freezing it so that the healers stay alive. That's the key here. We want to make sure that we bring the healers and keep them alive. While this is all happening, we're going to send in the king into the second inferno, and then now there's a nice little runway for our hogs to go into the base, directly into the guts of the base, and that's what's happening right here. The hog is going in, the miners are going in, we're going to rage them, we're going to heal them around the wizard towers to keep them alive. There's a whole bunch of wizards going on from the other side. P.E.K.K.A is behind the whole kill squad. We still have the Grand Warden ability. The queen is still walking, and we're healing our miners and our hogs right near the town hall. This is really good execution and a very, very good attack. Notice that everything is still walking in a nice fashionable line and just basically ripping this base apart from the inside out. That is what's happening here, and that's what JC is doing. Totally OP attack. Works so well at Town Hall 11, other Town Halls as well, but really Town Hall 11. Key remember, enemy queen, the clan castle, and a runway into the base. If you can do that by using your queen walk or queen charge and using your siege barracks and your king from the other side, you can walk away with a triple. Nice and easy. This is a fantastic attack. I really like it. Let's check out the next one. Now this base I've seen many different times at many different Town Hall levels. That's right, I even have a destroyed this base series on Town Hall 13 for this exact same base. I've ripped this base apart on Town Hall 12 and 11 as well, and today JC is going to show us how to do it again with Miners and Hogs, the same as the last attack. Siege barracks of course and everything else. What are we going to do here? We're going to start our queen walk right here from this direction. We're going to send a miner to make sure that we do some cleanup, right? We want to make sure that we funnel the queen into the base. As you notice, a coconut loon in the front to pull all the traps if they're needed, and then the late healers behind to make sure that the queen stays alive. We're going to be pushing towards west over here. As you notice, the queen is deep enough she can reach that inferno. I'm sorry, that eagle artillery. Well, at eagle artillery and this and this air defense, right? We want to make sure we continue to keep our healers safe behind us. They're very important. We have a whole bunch of wall breakers. What are those for? Those are to make sure the queen goes into the base versus out. A baby dragon and of course the coconut loon as well to make sure to continue pushing the queen into the base. We want to take out that eagle artillery. That's super important. He was only 1 wall breaker behind, as you notice, to make sure he gets in and tries to get this eagle artillery out, but he does end up taking the enemy queen, and he does end up taking actually no, he doesn't take out the enemy queen. What am I talking about? He ends up taking the clan castle. That's really important. And then of course the rest of the stuff here. We want to make sure that we take out this eagle artillery. That's also very important. It's gonna pound on our hogs and our miners. We definitely don't want that to stay alive. But if you notice right over here, he took out this entire section of the base, carved it out, And then from the other side, we're gonna send in our siege barracks with the king, a couple of wizards behind. That's to make sure we funnel out this side, because what we're doing here is we're creating a runway for our miners directly into the base. That is the key. The miners and the hogs going into the base in a narrow path, so we can use our heal spells more effectively, so we understand where they're going and predict it better. And that's kind of what's happening. Oh, the miners, as you notice, the Grand Warden behind, and then we're going to send in the hogs as well. That's going to be going directly into the base and going to be going for the heart of things that we need, right? The Eagle Artilleries, the Multi Infernos, things like that are going to help us take down this part, while the rest of the stuff is kind of moving on the outside and doing the cleanup. We have a whole bunch of spells left, a couple of rages, we have 2 freezes left. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and that's we're going to make sure that we use them effectively. Freezing the queen, making sure that the healers, that you notice, they switch now to the hogs and the miners versus everything else, so that's good. This attack is completely OP. He didn't really need to use any of these other spells over here because he has got so much going on with the hogs and the miners and the P.E.K.K.A. and the wizards and both the healers. Two healers left, and of course we have the queen ability as well. This attack is completely and absolutely OP, especially against these types of bases where you can carve it out and make sure that you create a nice runway for the hogs and the miners to get into the base, to completely rip it apart and show us how to be an absolute boss at JC. Really nice work. Ladies and gentlemen, I just showed you 3 examples of this awesome queen walk or queen charge and miner hog attack. It's a really viable way to triple a Town Hall 11. These are amazing hits. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something in this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to follow me on my Twitter and my Discord. And while you're here, check out this video right here. This is a really cool one, and I'll see you there.